you doing, everybody? We're back. We got Kim back this week.
Woohoo!
Yeah, we missed you last week.
I know. I missed being here.
Yeah, last week she was sick and our guest was sick, and I think everybody on the East Coast was sick because Kim wasn't here. But we ran the show. We played our old evidence. So
love it.
I think people liked it. I don't know. I didn't get no thumbs up or thumbs down, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But it happened. And Jenny is popping in now. We'll get her on in a second. But Kim, what's up? What'd you do? Anything good this weekend?
No, I did not do anything much this weekend. Still recovering.
Still sick.
There we have a new Chinese Lunar New Year, and we are starting tomorrow. So we are going into a new year of the Yin wood snake. So that is a whole different shift in the energies of rising energies coming. And I'm really excited about the changes for that. And yeah, so that's all that's really going on in my neck of the woods, just working and starting to feel better. How about you, Anthony? Did you do anything this weekend? Anything fun?
This weekend. What did I do this weekend? I don't remember what I did this weekend. No, I think, yeah, I say, yes, I did. What can I forget? I was at the Shanley Hotel.
Oh my gosh. How could you forget that, Anthony? That's your like home.
Yeah, I was there all week. I was there. We got there Saturday and we stayed Saturday and Sunday night. We came home Monday because it was like a storm. So we stayed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we had a good time. Ron and Lourdes did the digital seance, and we had some people hearing stuff, and they were like crying because they were hearing their father coming to them. So it was pretty cool. They're the ones who heard it. Not anybody else. They're the ones who heard it, and everybody else did. Here she is, Jenny.
Hi. Sorry,
technical difficulties.
Yeah, we're talking about what we did this weekend with
I was
Shanley and everything.
I could see you, but you couldn't see me. My screen was black for whatever reason, and I didn't change the thing. It just came on. That's
I seen you come on. That's why I didn't bring you in right away.
That's technology for you.
So, Jenny, you had a big weekend. What did you do?
Oh, nothing much. My daughter just got married.
Awesome.
Yay! Congratulations. Yay.
Now you're in-law.
At the best venue on the planet.
Exactly, where Kim got married as well.
And it's haunted.
And it's haunted.
Yeah.
Did you have any experiences there?
I did not. I was a little bit busy though. So you never know.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, what a beautiful, beautiful place. And everything went off without a hitch. So no pun intended. And it's done. So yeah, beautiful weekend.
Yeah, that's
congratulations,
awesome.
Mama.
And what did you do yesterday? Sunday. You interviewed or something, no? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's a little. I don't think I can, but yeah, Kim
okay.
And I are involved.
She was interviewed for a documentary, and that's about all they're allowed to say now.
To be announced, yeah.
To be announced.
But fun stuff coming up. Fun stuff coming up in the future.
Yep. Yeah, pretty cool.
Down the pike.
I'm looking forward to that. Well,
yeah, me too.
Kim, you want to introduce him since Kim knows how to pronounce the name? I'm sorry, Irene.
Sure.
Kim.
Yeah. So we are so excited for our guest this week on our show. We have some very special guests from Japan on our show tonight. This is from Spooky Japan Podcast. We have Irene, Ikiko, and Amanda. And we are going to hear some really spooky stuff from across, not even the pond, not even the lake, from like across the world.
This is great.
Pretty cool.
So I'm really excited.
I'm going to bring them in.
Yeah.
Okay. I seen you shake your head. She didn't say your name right, did she?
Oh, all right. Well,
no, that's okay.
Best effort.
Irene Akiko.
Mm-hmm.
No, Irene Akiko.
Very good.
And Amanda Lombardo. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah. When you said it, I see her in the green room going,
I get it all the time. Don't worry about it. I get colicky.
Hey, you're lucky she said it, because I would have said something totally different. You'd be like, "What the hell?"
He would have called you Joan. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, I would have called you something totally different. I'm like, I mean, so how you guys doing?
Thanks for being here tonight, ladies. Even though it is your day over there.
Good morning or good whatever.
What'd you say? It was like 10 a.m., something like that over there?
10 a.m. here in Japan, yeah.
So you're just starting your day. We're ending it and you're starting it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Breathing to death.
Oh, we hear you there.
Another day. And so we're going to, our first thing is to ask, how you guys got into it. So if you guys want to, so people in the audience know something about you, and then we'll get into everything else.
Amanda, you can tell.
Yeah, so one thing that we started Spooky Japan podcast because we realized when it comes to the paranormal, here in Japan, they're not very open about it. You can't find teams, you can't book a haunted location. So me and Irene, we met through social media. I moved here to Nagasaki, which is the very bottom of Japan, of the island of Japan. Irene is over there in Tokyo. So when we met, because I told Irene when I first got to Japan, I'm like, yeah, one of the first things I'm going to do when I get to Japan is I'm going to get involved in the paranormal community. And I searched for the paranormal community, and I'm like, why am I not finding anything? So I just not know how to search for it. Then I met Irene, and she's like, no, you found it. Congrats. It's me. Just me. So then I started also looking into, we're so used to dealing with spirits here and also looking at urban legends that we also realized that people around the world aren't really familiar with the paranormal here in Japan. So originally it started as a TikTok. We're like, you know what? Let's just make a podcast so we can talk to people, have a conversation, educate them about not only paranormal but Japan, but the culture.
Yes.
Right.
People ask us all the time about questions about life over here or culture. Then they feel bad. We're like, no, that's fine. You're interested. We have no problem answering questions about the life and culture over here either.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the history.
Yeah, because a lot of people, when they think haunted Japan, the only thing people know about is that, and I have to keep it social media friendly, the unalived forest.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is still the funniest thing to say to me. I will never get over that.
I hate that word unalive.
I hate it, but social media tends to, once you say the S word.
Right.
Because we've had our podcast flagged so many times where people say the S word, and I'm just like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
We're not encouraging it.
That's why I call it the unalive condo too.
Yeah.
Or the unalive waterfall, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it just sounds so weird to say.
Like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we got to watch what we say too, because they're going to flag us if we say the S word.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, it's what it is. I'm like, I can't.
Right. It's the name of it. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the name. There's nothing you can do about that. So, yeah, it is what it is.
That's also another way to put it, Mary. The Forest of Doom.
The Forest of Doom. Okay, we can say that.
Doom, yeah.
I like that.
So, Amanda, how long have you been there in Japan?
I've been here 3 years so far.
Amanda, can you adjust your mic a little bit, because you keep on coming in and out? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the whole paranormal community is on our show from Japan tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2. Is that it?
1, 2. They're the whole paranormal community in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the ones who will come out and say that we see things that we know that Japan is haunted. Yeah. We're the only ones that will come out and admit it, but everyone else is saying, you're not supposed to say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting because, I mean, from my very limited knowledge of East Asian culture as far as like land spirits and things go, there's a deep culture of spirit being in things in the land in a deep reverence with actual energies out on the land, right?
Kids are taught paranormal at a very young age. They're taught their island is haunted at a very young age. You see a lot of manga. You see a lot of children's shows on. We have kids network here. It's total only Japanese well, comic, right? Uh, but it's all paranormal.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
they learn about yokai, which is kind of like ghouls. They learn about that at a very young age. They learn that their island is haunted. They know that, but they're taught not to touch it with a 10-foot pole. So so what are you gonna do, right?
Mhm. Well, over
And
here,
is
when I
that
know
because
growing
of
up, it was the same way when the 60s, 70s, and not till the TV shows started getting popular and everybody liked that in the 2004, 2005. I wasn't allowed to talk about all the stuff I seen as a kid,
Right.
you know? So it's right now, you're at, it may change one day. We need one popular show, you know?
There was one popular show, but but it was taken off the air because young people started saying that's phony and that's fake and that stuff like that. So it got taken off the air, and it's only shown on TikTok now,
Oh.
and
Oh,
that's where
really?
all the paranormal investigations are now is on TikTok. They don't go on Facebook because they're afraid they're gonna get canned for doing something like this. So they don't.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can get canned. You can get canned just by talking about paranormal. You can get canned by seeing UFOs or anything like that. Yeah, you can get canned really easily, and
On
you won't be able to
Facebook.
get your job or yeah, if you go on
Wow.
Facebook or anything like that. Because a lot of employers will go on Facebook just to search it out and see what's going on. And yeah, to nab somebody who's on Facebook. But you see,
Wow.
I don't have a problem. Amanda and I, we don't have a problem. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You guys are vigilantes.
Yeah. Because two people are
Rebel.
doing it, they're like, they're crazy. Leave them alone.
No,
Nah,
I have
somebody
been
really
asked
said
because there
something
are
to
some
me.
people who make stories about obviously the urban legends here, and they're just like, why are they not considered part of the paranormal community? And it's like they themselves do not consider telling the urban legends or writing books on urban legends or making videos on urban legends. They don't see themselves as part of the paranormal community with me and Irene
No,
because they see it more as storytelling
yeah,
because to them it
Mhm.
has more of a lesson behind it.
yeah,
So that's why
Hmm.
to them, like,
Oh,
yeah, we know about it because there's literally thousands of cryptids here in Japan, but they see
yeah,
it more as a storytelling than
yeah.
being to them. Will they actually do anything with spirits? No,
No,
because we don't have any demonologists here in Japan, nothing like that. So
mm,
unfortunately, their biggest fear is if we make this spirit angry, we don't know
Mm.
what to do. So
yeah,
when they do
Right.
have something and a place is considered to be extremely haunted, the only thing they do is just board it up to the public so no one can go in. They're like, you can't piss it off, you can't go to it.
wow.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this idea of like appeasing them, right? The idea of you needing to appease them and let them be, or else
yeah.
like they could harm you or come home and yeah, no, I definitely have felt that and have understood that from the culture of the East
They
Asian
do harm you.
country.
You got to be careful where you go. I pick and choose where I want to go. If I don't do that, I
Mm.
don't want to be in a box the next day. So I pick and choose what I want to go to,
Wow.
and I leave the other ones aside.
So the government actually, like these locations, like you said before, they come in and arrest you? Is it
They can
government
if
or the
they want
local
to. They
police? Yeah.
can. Yeah, they can. But me, I can say, well, like I can obtain permission if I
Mm,
want to, right?
mm. Me don't
I can
speak
always.
English. Me don't speak English.
Yeah, that doesn't work either because I speak Japanese and it doesn't
Right.
work for me either. Right.
No,
Good luck for that one, right? I'll just have my husband come here and help me. Like,
My
so I
goodness.
drag
So-
him wherever I go.
Okay.
So Amanda, so you were doing paranormal investigating before you moved to Japan?
I was back in the United States, so that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I assumed I'm going to start doing that more in Japan, and joke was on me because, like I said, you can't book anywhere here to investigate. So
Right.
Nice.
yeah.
And where in
So you didn't
where in
know
the US
before you
was
moved.
that?
So I grew up in Michigan, but then I moved from North Carolina to over here. So it's more on over there on the East Coast.
Okay.
No, so you came from Michigan, went to North Carolina. Then you say, I had enough. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, then we came to Japan, and I'm like, I can't wait to jump into the paranormal community in Japan, and it's just there really isn't one.
It's like, how do you
You're
guys
in.
meet? I mean, you guys must have been drawn together because you guys had the same belief because here you are.
Yeah, social media we found each other on social media.
Mhm.
So I was like, so that finding out she was the only community until I got here was. So I was like, yeah. So then we just decided we were like, let's go ahead and educate the rest of the world about paranormal Japan, and that's when Spooky Japan
That's
podcast
good.
was
I
started.
love it. Pioneers.
Yeah. If you don't find the community, make your community. Be
I
your
love that.
community. Cool.
And we're hoping
Yeah.
and we also say to anyone out there in Japan who's into the paranormal, we also say on our show, we are your safe space that if you want to talk to someone or not want to feel alone, you can turn to us. And we're not going to tell anyone who you are.
Mm.
So if that's what you're afraid of, we're not going to tell people.
Mm.
Love
Yeah,
it.
you got to keep it on the ground until, like,
Wow.
so nobody, because, like I said, I grew up in an era where we weren't allowed to talk about it and see, and my parents believed me, and we weren't allowed to say anything outside the house. And all those years went by and stuff, and I know how it feels. And then plus, I started my team in 1996, and nobody wanted to go out on investigations with me. I was going out by myself, a lot of locations, by myself. So I know how you guys feel. Back then, I felt lonely and nobody wanted to be part of it. And then when the shows got popular in 2004, that's when everybody with K2 became an investigator. So
Yeah, but at least it made it, more mainstream, and you didn't have to hide in the shadows anymore. You may have been a weirdo, but you didn't have to hide.
yeah. Has anything changed?
No.
Still weird.
No.
We're not.
We're all
Okay.
we're all weirdos. Still.
We're all kind of weird.
No,
That's right.
we're okay. Everybody else is weird.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, we
That's better.
embrace the weird. We embrace the
I
weird.
like the weird.
We embrace each other. Everybody else
That's
is
right.
weird.
Jeez, I've been
That's
weird
right.
for a long time.
So, Irene, you said something about spirits harming you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have anyone in your country who deals with that, who deals with harmful spirits? You said you don't have a demonologist type thing, but you don't have anyone. Who would you call?
Are there like shaman roots? Are there any shamans that would do that in Japan? No.
Ghostbusters. Okay.
Oh, Jenny, a dead guy came with you when at the hotel. That's why he's messing with your equipment. I'm just telling you right now because I saw him.
Oh, that's why I couldn't get my picture up for the first time. Interesting. A dead guy.
How Irene got started in paranormal is she was always saying about her condo that she lived in was a super haunted, unalived condo.
Yes, unalived condo where 18 people unalived themselves.
There. And she had to move because they tried finding people for help, and she's like, absolutely no one will help you.
No.
You can't
There's
no
literally
one
no
to help
one.
you. No one.
I've been sick so many times. I went be rushed to the hospital so many times in an ambulance because I got sick for no reason. Doctors couldn't find out why, and I came home and I got sick again. I went to the hospital again. I came home. Yeah, and then my son got sick. He came home, and yeah, everybody seemed to be getting sick, and yeah, the whole family got sick. And my husband said, "Okay, that's it. We're moving." Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And have you
And your
felt better
height.
since moving?
Yeah, I've been trying to
Yeah.
get rid of my
Yeah.
headaches. It's been a little while, but yeah, it's slowly getting better. But
Good.
it's a hard travel. My daughter too. She's trying to get rid of her headaches. My son also. My youngest son. Yeah, we're all trying to get better. It's a long journey. It takes time, but we're doing it day by day.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, you're very sensitive. I mean, you know,
Clearly.
you're open to. I mean, like you do remote readings. You know, you're very sensitive and everything. So, I could,
Hmm.
you know, things come to you. You know, you could go to a location and see so much stuff, and you just have to worry about it following you home. You know, and I know when you're open like that, you do get sickness and you know stuff
Hmm.
does because you actually pick up somebody spirit's illness or what they died of or you know
Hmm.
what they went through. So you're
Hmm.
feeling all that too.
Hmm.
So that's why you're getting sick. You know,
Yeah.
you know, and maybe your location, you know, people have died there sick and everything, and you were
Mm.
just picking it up.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of rare, but it happens,
It happens. Yeah.
and you're a rare person, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
So,
absolutely true. When you are sensitive to places, you're basically how I describe it to to myself and anybody who listens, but is you're basically immersing yourself in the energy of the space. And if that energy of the space is heavy or whatever is going on, you're basically
Hmm.
walking through it and experiencing it all around you like a
Hmm.
shower kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
And if you're living in a space that has that constant frequency, constant energy bombarding you, yeah,
Hmm.
it absolutely can affect your mind, your body, all your vitality. It
Hmm.
definitely can. And it's so good to notice, like if you're having those experiences in one place, this goes for anybody too, and then you remove yourself from that place and you like feel lighter, you don't feel that anymore, then it's definitely like the place. And so I used to go to this is my ex a long time ago in New Hampshire, and I had night terrors, night sweats, like the whole gambit that you read about, people saying they feel like being dragged off the bed, you know, that whole thing. And I've never had those experiences in my life ever before. And I've never had them since. It was only in that house that I had those experiences.
Yeah.
So yeah, place really matters. And I actually ended up being like, I can't stay here anymore. To his very
Yeah.
Catholic Italian family. Yeah, you have
Oh
Wow.
ghosts
yeah.
and spirits in your house.
Did you ever
I can't
find?
stay here.
Did you ever find that the Catholic community? Well, I know here. I was told you can't do what you do. I go, why not? Because you're not supposed to be doing that. I said,
yeah,
who told you what I was not supposed to be doing? Okay, fine. I'm not going to go to church anymore. That's what I did.
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
they're
not
very
as open
judgmental.
to it because there's a group that believe it is like communicating with the devil or demons or something like that. There is a
Hmm.
group that believes that, and so you're
Oh,
inviting in the negative. But I personally always have believed that it's intention. So I'm not
Yeah.
intending to
No.
communicate with that side. So
Hmm.
I don't. But
Hmm.
right.
yeah, same here.
I do talk to evil every once in a while.
You
I
can't help it. I mean,
do.
it happens.
You know, it's okay. They don't bother me. I've talked to the dark side. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Like once you seen one, you seen them all.
Oh, you spoke to my ex-wife?
Oh
No,
God.
No.
have you seen my mother-in-law?
Oh, you haven't met my mother-in-law. That's really dark.
You haven't met my father-in-law either.
So, we got
Boy,
pictures
that got
here.
dark. That got dark
I know,
fast.
Amanda, you don't get a chance to talk much. Yeah, you're probably used to that. We got pictures here. I got a bunch of pictures. I don't know what you want to see first, talk about first. Um, you both send pictures.
You can do hers first if you want to. That's okay.
Do you have
Um,
stuff from the United States, Amanda, or is it all
I
from
do. I
Japan?
have one place. One of my photos is here, and then other ones are from the United States.
Okay.
okay. So it's a brown house with a porch and everything. Is that the United States one?
That is one of them, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to showing that, and you can tell us what's about. I think this is part of it. Here we go. Is that?
Yes, that was my old home I lived in before I moved to Japan.
In North Carolina.
Yeah,
Mm,
North Carolina.
yes. I did sort of briefly look into this house, but I didn't read it.
Okay.
I felt like there is an old man, very old man here. Did you have experiences here?
So where I took that picture, there is a detached garage behind me where there is an old man.
I see somebody walking in the background.
Yeah, that'd be him. That because I was right next to the detached garage. He used it as him and I think his sons used it as a mechanic shop back when they lived there.
Yeah.
He is still there behind in there for I don't know, that's the place where he decided he just spent the most time, that's where he wanted to be. But originally, this is the oldest house in the neighborhood. This was what I found out after I moved in. This was the first house. The street was actually named after the family who built this house. They
Oh.
lived. It was the first house built there, and they owned. It was an country, older country couple. They owned like 40 acres of land until they passed away, and their children decided to sell off majority of that land. So now that's only like a 3/4 of an acre. And the old man, he is extremely angry that it was sold off. Extremely, still
Yeah.
angry that it was
Yeah.
sold off because he was so proud of that land.
Yeah.
Angry to the point where he was just like, if you ever could, buy it back because it needs to be together. And I'm like, that's not, even if it did go up for sale, that's not realistic for me to do. He's so angry that it's been sold off. And then inside that house is the original grandmother figure in there. Her name is Mary. She's in there, and and I've talked about her on my show because she's one of those. I'd go and
Is this
investigate.
the
Yes,
show? No,
I'd go and
that
investigate.
Is that the
no.
same house?
That's the front of
I'm
the house.
sorry.
Yes,
That's the
I'd
front.
go out to
Okay,
investigate.
I'm getting confused with these pictures here. That's part of it.
Yeah, I'd go out and investigate. I'd come back, and no matter what followed me, she was one of those. Think of the Beverly Hillbillies grandmother. That's how she was. Like,
Yes.
you know,
I was gonna
you
say,
had
I
to
was
have
like,
her
they're like,
permission.
oh,
You
the
had to have
sillies.
her
Oh my
permission
God, what is
to
that?
enter that house.
Wait, what is that?
Spiritually.
I don't know what
So
that is.
I could run into that house. I know absolutely nothing was going to follow me in because she would not allow it. She absolutely would not allow it.
Hmm.
Because she's like, this is my home. You have to have permission. Because other people, and I don't know if you talked to her, but she's also very, because I've had other mediums when I've described her say, well, I went enter the house to see her. And she looked at me and said, why are you in my house? Are you sure she's friend? I'm like, yes. Originally, this house was not what I was looking for when I moved in, but she kind of picked me to live there. That's the detached garage
Mm.
back there. You see part of it. He did not like me in there, so I very rarely ventured in there because he's like, no, this is my area, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, not gonna go in your
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
As you're telling your story, I'm just going to show the parts of the house. What you
Yeah,
send me.
that's more of the detached garage there. Yeah, he's still in there. He does not like people in there. What's funny is you see that tree line. It kind of gives you the country feel because the tree goes into a pretty thick little forest area.
Hmm.
and then it stops.
Mm.
Obviously, where the trees, that line of trees end, but there are bad spirits in those trees.
Is those graves that they put trees on that grew over graves? Because that's what it reminds me of, and that's why I got a feeling there's graves on our grounds.
Not, I wasn't told that, but you could be right because there are still spirits hanging around, but around those trees is kind of where they have like a barrier, and I
Hmm.
think kind of like Mary and her husband like might have made that barrier
Hmm. Because
to
back
because
in
they
the
get to the tree
1800s, they
Yeah.
line
And
and
buried.
there,
they stop.
Back in the 1800s, they would put trees on top of graves because they felt that it was still bringing life back. Coming
Right.
the life of the tree is the taking the life of the body and bringing it back. So it was a symbol type of thing.
oh,
So
that's
that's why
very
I'm.
Ender's Game. If anybody knows that reference, Ender's Game with the piggies. Could be going way off there. It's a book
Pretty
reference.
cool.
Um, Mary Beth actually even noticed the tree in the back. She said that tree in the back is beautiful. It's an anchor for the area or something. So yeah,
Mm.
right
And
on, Mary
yeah,
Beth.
because they
Yeah.
come to a certain point. I don't think it's Native American spirit because for some odd reason they can't really pass the forest area, which I'm fine. I was fine with
Mm.
because I'm like, you're not good. You don't like me. You're here to cause me harm. But they couldn't pass. They couldn't pass past the trees.
Oh, I see. Okay, so like the tree line was the border, the boundary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a weird boundary that they couldn't, for some odd reason, cross. Which I
that's
was like, I'm
Whoa.
not
interesting.
gonna look into
Yeah,
it.
because they knew
I mean,
that lady spirit and the old man spirit were in there filling up that space. They probably put an energetic barrier themselves there
Yeah,
that said you can't
Yeah.
no come in.
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
that area, where was it? That was North Carolina?
North
Mhm.
Carolina.
Because I know that the Quakers and all those guys with the beards and stuff, I'm talking
Amish,
about. Jenny, correct me.
Mennonites, Amish.
Amish, Amish,
Amish.
something ish. And
Amish.
when
All the
they
issues.
felt
Oh my God.
that if somebody was like did something wrong to the community or blasphemy or they felt they thought they were a witch, they would do the same thing and bury a tree on top of them, and they can't get out until the tree is gone. So that
Really?
was one of their things also. If they thought somebody's a witch, so maybe it's possible that I don't know if that's but you're saying it's a barrier, so maybe that's
Yeah,
maybe
I
the
could
tree
also
line.
feel when you showed pictures of the garage, I could feel him again, and he's still,
Yeah.
especially when I mentioned the land being sold off. All of a sudden, he got angry, and I'm like, yeah, he's still to this day very angry about that.
Mm,
Yes.
I'd be
And he
very.
immediately was like very present there. And I
Yes, he
just
was
even
immediately present
even
because he was like, he's always told me he's not happy about it. And I'm like, it's
yeah. Yeah.
40 acres.
Thanks.
Yeah, I can understand being
Right.
country, and then you're all of a sudden your land is sold off, and your children just like they'd rather have the money than the land.
Mm.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Yeah.
I got a thing. This is where you moved to Japan, where the scenery is. Is that where you moved to when you left there?
Yeah, I left and went. I left there and came to Japan.
You want me to put that up? You want to
Sure.
talk about that?
This is from. I took this a couple days ago from my balcony.
That's gorgeous.
Beautiful. That's
Yeah, this
stunning.
is
Yeah.
obviously this is in the bay.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah, beautiful.
Over there is usually they call it the dry dock, which means they'll bring in ships for like repairs. Sometimes you'll even see cruise ships over there being repaired. But in this area, I took a picture because if you see across from like across over there where that land begins, that big white building, is I've sent Irene photos before to at night. I'll look over and I'll just see like huge shadow figures staring over. What it looks like it's staring over at me. And I think it's because I know that they're there.
Hmm.
That's interesting. I'm going to show
Wow.
more of that scenery there.
That's
Yeah,
strange.
I did do a pre-read of this area, this
Oh,
harbor.
good.
Okay. So we'll get to that after, we'll show a couple more pictures, Irene's pictures, and we'll get into that. This is all part
Over
of that.
there, towards where the actual military base is. Obviously, you can see some of their ships over there.
And this is awesome. Japan. We're looking at Japan right now.
Yeah. This is
Wow.
awesome.
Is that a battleship there?
Yeah, that's the
No, there
military
are the
base.
smaller ones. The bigger one, that's if it was there, you would see it noticeably different.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
The huge one is currently gone. But those are
What
like
a
the
view.
smaller ones. But there is one that like obviously is like 3 or 4 times bigger than them over there.
Wow.
Wow. That's
Okay,
gorgeous.
you got one more of this, the harbor. Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to get a closer view of obviously where I was saying with that big white building in front of it. You'll see sometimes shadow figures just standing near the edge, near the water.
That's awesome.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I know exactly what you're talking about there. Yeah.
Whoa. So we'll get that.
And that's
So-
like a shipping dock, right? Like a shipping area where they would come in and do
Repairs, yes.
repairs. You did say that. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Right, like dry dock.
Wow.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll see
Wow.
cruise ships over there, yeah.
That's
That's
lovely.
good.
Yeah.
That is nice. We get to see that. That's great.
Not bad. That's a lot different than North Carolina.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, everybody, we're in a different time zone now. So, Irene, you sent me some pictures. Is that of the waterfall? Those big gray pictures?
Yeah, that's the SS waterfall. It's called Keonotaki.
And the one with the tree, you said, is by the waterfall. Because I want to try to get them all up together.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to put the tree one on first. And you want to explain this to everybody?
Yeah, okay. Oh, no, that's not the waterfall. That's a different place. That's near our shrine.
Okay. I'll
The
put the
waterfall
waterfall
is the three pictures that are all white.
I only got 2 on here. I don't know why.
Okay, you can show the 2.
Yeah, here we go. I'm going to show the 2.
Would you believe that's a cliff?
That's the cliffs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Because
wow.
that's supposed to be trees and rocky area, but it told me to take a picture there, so I took a picture, and that's what came out.
So
If
he won't even let you take pictures.
But if you look at it long enough, you start to see shapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
There
can see that.
are
Yeah, it's like
people's
fogged over.
faces
It's like a
in the
mist
wall. There are
or like
people's
a
faces in there.
veil. Like they
Oh,
put a
yes, yeah.
veil over it.
I'll show the
That's
other one. And then you want to explain it to us, or what happened with these cliffs?
Well,
And that's the cliffs
people
there too.
used to, yeah, the people. Oh, it didn't want to show you the waterfall, right?
That's the waterfall.
No, that's the other side of the cliff. The waterfall's in the middle.
I don't have that.
Damn, I sent it to you. I guess it blocked you from seeing it. Anyways,
And
people used to,
I put everything on like in groups so they would stay
Yeah.
together.
The waterfall was right in the middle. That's the left side, right side of the cliff. People used to climb the waterfall and jump into the waterfall. That was when Japan lost the war. They didn't want to be ruled by America, so they started SSing themselves and jumping off the waterfall.
So
Wow.
yeah. So they felt that that if we came in, the United States came in, they'd want to be ruled by them.
Yeah.
And were they soldiers or just regular
people
regular people?
who lived near the mountains. Yeah.
If we would have took over, you could have had plenty of hot dogs.
Oh, you can get hot dogs here. They're
Hot dogs
European
and
hot
beer.
dogs.
Ew.
You can get brats here too.
You get the
Oh yeah.
brats. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's if the other guy won. Get the brats.
I try to imagine like the fear of losing your culture, your
Yeah, that's what
identity,
they're worried
your
about it.
country. I
Yeah,
mean,
I can't believe that can come on.
I can understand,
yeah. So
but it's
they had a
horrible.
little waterfall on the other side of that, and that's where children jumped.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
So they, yeah, that's something, you know.
that's
Wow.
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So Irene,
It,
is this area now like a sacred area, or is it
They used to
remembered in
have
any way?
nets. They used to have nets so you could do what they did, but they removed the nets, and you can walk across the waterfall. You could see, but they have long bars, so this fence is pretty high, so you can't climb over it. Yeah, and
It
there's
must
one
be.
place where you catch the elevator to go down to the main floor, because you're pretty up high in the air when you go there. They show one little shrine with one little Buddha saying that this is where 700 people have SS themselves and to pray for the souls who died.
Okay,
wow.
so they commemorate it at least.
Yeah,
Um,
but they don't. But they're not gonna tell you that, right?
right. I mean, it must be so powerful to be there.
Oh yeah, my friend and I, we took our friends there, who came from United States. We took them. Amanda knows them. We took them there, and he he said, "I'm sorry this happened, but yeah, you didn't really have to die, and that's really sad." And then we talked, and they talked, and we allow. I said, "Through me, you can talk to them through me." And yeah, and it was the most hardest part for him to see that, and it was so sad. But you know what, it's not the place that you want to take your school groups to go there. That's what they do. The kids who go and take 3 days off when they graduate school, they take them to that waterfall to have a commemoration photograph. And oh my god, my son said, he went there too. He said, "You know what? I don't want to go there." And the teacher said, "Why don't you become?" So he said, "No, thanks." But they took the picture. You should see behind the picture. You could see these people climbing the rocks and jumping in the waterfall. Like, yeah, it's a whole
Really?
bunch of residual energy. It's pretty bad. My son said, "Ooh," he went like this. He took his face. He went like this. I said, "How come you didn't make that face?" He goes, "Take a look behind there." And I said, "Oh, you're right. Yeah." And he said, "Yeah, I don't want to
Wow.
go there. I don't want to go there." So yeah,
That's well, nowadays generation has no idea, and well, they know about the history, but it's not the same respect that I know I was grew up with, and
but
you
they don't
know,
want to tell the kids what happened there.
oh, they don't
And
want to tell them. Okay.
Right. So
yeah,
they don't know. They wouldn't, they don't
yeah,
know
they don't
unless
know,
somebody
right?
would tell them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Right.
wow. Okay, I didn't understand that.
No,
yeah,
but you
Okay.
bring up a really good point about the paranormal. We often just gloss over, oh, so, three people died here, but we don't really stop to think about it,
no,
kind of
Mhm.
thing.
no,
And that
no,
gives you a lot of pause.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Behind every phenomena that we experience, explore, try and debunk
Yes.
is a spirit and a soul and a life
And a
hmm
that
human
is
being who
reflecting in
exactly
that
who lived.
phenomena. Yeah.
We have to always
That's
remember
why I
that.
always called him a person. That's why I don't
Always
call him a
remember that.
spirit. I call him a
That's
person. I never say
interesting.
he's dead or alive. I always call him a person because it's still a person to me.
yeah. You're
Doesn't
Very,
matter
right.
if they're
very
dead.
good.
It's
You're
they're
really
still a
right.
person. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm going to show another picture. I don't know who sent me this one. So here,
but that's Amanda.
That
Amanda.
is mine. That is a place in North Carolina called the Trivet Clinic,
We know
not
it.
too far from
Oh,
Charlotte.
we know the Trivet
We know
Clinic.
this clinic.
Wow. We haven't seen this photo though.
No.
Yeah, I've been there many times. It's one of those places where I mentioned on my show before where I would take people who maybe have a ghost, they want to experience their first ghost hunt or want to be trained, I would take them here because the spirits in it's a very active location, but all the spirits
Very active.
inside are friendly. Because I went with a group before, and a lot of people would be shocked I could sit like in the basement alone. He's like, yes, I know there's spirits down there with me interacting. However, I felt safe. I felt safe enough there that being alone somewhere on the floor, even if I'm completely alone in that building, they were not going to harm. They don't. They're not going to cause you any harm.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. We did this one a few episodes ago. One of our guests came on and they did this one. And this was the one that I felt sick, right? Because this was a hospital.
Yes, it started off as a hospital.
Yeah.
One of the
Right.
rooms up there was one of the rooms up there was the surgery room. One of my
That's
pictures,
right.
for some
Yeah.
odd reason, I could not find a lot of the pictures of this place that I took. But the one I was looking for was upstairs, coming out from the
Red
surgery
room,
room.
right?
There was because I was like, I'm going to take a picture while I'm out here I'm going to take a picture of it before we leave. There was no one inside of it. We had nothing on. When I took the picture, a very bright blue light was just completely shining out of there when I took the picture. So I
Wow.
went
Well,
in there
you
just
talk
to
about
make
that blue light there?
no, this one was like really, really bright out of the. It looked like you took a blue strobe light and it was
Mhm.
shining out the window. That's how bright it was.
Oh, really?
So we went back in just to make sure because I'm like, what is this really bright light? Nothing was on, and they still kept it very. They don't have a lot of newer stuff in there to begin with. There's not a lot
Mhm.
of technology stuff in there, but I just wanted to make sure because I'm like, okay, did we leave something on that caused this really bright light? And there's nothing on.
Wow.
And
That's
the owner
interesting.
said that's interesting because a lot of people they take pictures will report a really bright blue light coming out from one of the windows.
Cool.
Yeah, and blue is not like a color of like one of those emergency lights, the exit lights and stuff like that inside a location. They're
Right.
usually red, and blue is not usually a color that they would use.
I don't know if it was something to do with with like a surgery there in time, but it started off originally as a hospital. Then after a hospital, it was a nursery home for the elderly.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's a really cool spot.
That place is amazing.
I'm so glad
Yeah.
you brought that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, we had that on our show.
We did. We
Yeah,
had
because
that.
when I was
that
going to look at the picture, I'm like,
picture.
that looks familiar. Where did I get that from?
Yeah.
You know me, I don't forget. I forget everything. So I even forget my name once in a while. So that's why I got it, in my wallet.
Yeah, and I've heard as I used to go there, it was safe, and they also outside. They have I think it's an elemental outside because there's
Hmm.
something outside that
Mm-hmm.
makes you feel very uneasy. And almost every group that goes there, you go outside, you'll hear it walking. Like it's very distinct and loud. The first time I went in there, I went to my car to set up with some of the equipment I had in my car. It was just me and someone else. And I heard distinctive loud walking in the stones. I looked up thinking someone must be walking up, but I didn't see anyone.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, well, maybe it's just me. So I went back to grab my stuff and I kept hearing it. It was loud. It was clear, distinct walking. Even sticks were being broken. Like someone stepped on a stick, you hear it crack.
Oh wow.
Wow. Yeah.
I was like,
Wow.
all right, I'm going back inside.
But you weren't sure if it was human or not.
Yeah, I don't know if it makes you feel uneasy. I've also I went back there with another group, but at one point we went back into the building real fast because we heard it walking. Like we all turned, we heard it walking, but then it sounded like it was running towards us. We were like, okay, I don't know what is running at us, but no.
Wow.
Nope. Out of here. Yeah.
Wow.
We did. We talked about it. That clinic is really fascinating. We'll talk about it again happily.
Mm. So, Irene, I'm going to show here the one with the tree with the writing on it. Okay, this is very interesting, and this is we know this because there's on multiple shows that we always see them on. So,
Mm-hmm.
but we can't say a certain word, but
Yeah.
we're going to substitute that word. Here we go.
Aokihara Forest.
Mm-hmm. And this is the famous forest that you see in all those shows
Yeah. Uh
where
um
people. That's
you
interesting.
don't go there. You don't go there. You only go there to, you know what? That's the
Yeah,
only reason why you go there, but you
yeah,
don't go there. The living doesn't go there, and it's not a place where you walk into it. You can go in the parking lot. You can go the edge of that. You can pray for their souls, but you don't go in there.
yeah. That's this.
I
This.
just,
this
I,
yeah,
you know what? I had somebody who say, "Take me there." I said, "Okay, but it's got to be under my rules. You can't go inside." They said, "Why not?" Because, uh, yeah, there's a reason why you don't go in there, and
yeah,
that's the reason why you don't go in there, unless you're going in there for a purpose to not live. That's why you go there, but you just don't go there. You
yeah.
don't walk in there either. It's a rule of thumb that you don't go in there and you don't walk inside.
Yeah, well, that's what those ribbons are for people that have gone inside, isn't it?
No,
Although,
it's the people who have put markings there who have, you know, they passed
yeah,
on.
they off themselves.
Yeah,
I guess. I guess that'll be okay.
There
Yeah,
is a there's a saying, "Don't follow the ribbons," because you're gonna probably find it to something you don't want to see.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
wow.
The
And
ribbons are, they do make it eerie. I mean, it's
yeah,
already,
yeah,
completely disturbing, but the ribbons are very eerie.
yeah. It,
and
you notice that there's no wildlife in there. You notice there's nothing in there except that and the trees. That's all there is. No birds, no insects, no nothing. No snakes, no nothing.
so when they find a body, the body's intact because there's nothing there
Yeah,
I guess eat it, or
yeah, yeah,
no predator is there to consume the body.
yeah,
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah.
Just looking at it, you get like an eerie feeling.
Mm, but
Wow.
it's a part of life. It's a part of Buddhist religion. So
Hmm.
you don't
Right.
touch it. You let them, because if they died that way, that means that they can come back in another life form and be reincarnated because they're unhappy with their lives right now.
It's okay. So that's how the Buddhists believe. You die and you could come back, but you don't. Nobody could touch
Yeah,
their body, whatever. That's
yeah,
crazy. That is
yeah.
crazy. You know.
It it must be. I mean, it looks quiet, but it must be so quiet with no
It's
wildlife.
too quiet.
You're right, exactly. Like you're used to hearing a little bit birds, like you
Yeah,
said. I mean,
yeah.
that
It's
silence
just
just
a
must
little bit
be.
too quiet to be for comfort, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. And yeah, and the
It,
quiet sometimes too much quiet is just as eerie.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah. You
It's
don't.
just as eerie just being in the dark.
You'd
You know.
rather have a place where the you feel the life of whatever right surrounds you.
Mhm.
But
Right.
yeah, that
Right.
place you don't.
Even
How
the
do you?
trees don't look too alive there.
Right.
No, 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 no. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, how do you cope with that as a sensitive? How do you, like someone like Kim, how do you cope while looking at that picture?
Oh, I'll tell you one thing.
Well,
If you
yeah.
unalive yourself, right, you don't talk to those spirits.
Okay.
You leave them alone. Like, this is my road, that's your road. You go that way, I go this way. That's how I deal with that
Okay.
one.
Hmm.
Okay. So they off limits. Understood.
Yeah, yeah.
So I actually was drawn to this photo. I did 3 photos tonight for a pre-read, and we can go to that if you want. And then
Be
you'll kind of
careful.
know what happened.
I'm going to tell you, be careful because it's not
Oh,
cleansed.
it's done.
No, just a second. That place is not cleansed. That photograph is not cleansed.
Oh, I know.
So you have to be extremely careful.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
warning you now
Yeah.
because
You'll
they
see.
will
You'll see
come.
what happens, Irene.
They'll come.
You'll see what happens. Watch.
They'll come.
Oh gosh.
They'll come.
They'll
Oh,
come
it's
and they will bother you.
It's the tree writing one. It's like less than a minute.
Tree writing. Okay.
Tree writing one. Forest, spirit. Oh yeah, okay. This is Kim, you better get. I better have no spirits pop out on my screen now.
Yeah.
What is
why I
that
got
movie?
this.
The Ring comes out.
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I'm protected.
Do you use anything, Amanda? She's muted. Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay.
This is you can get these at shrine. It is good protection. I also have another one here in my house for protection against evil.
Okay.
Her place is really haunted.
My goodness. You all have protection. I have my cat. My cat will protect me.
and he can't see what's going on.
So
you're out of luck. Okay.
I have a sword.
Okay, we're gonna do this now. She has her sword out.
It's a katana. It's a Japanese sword.
I'm just holding my cross. I'm just like,
Oh my gosh. People, watch the video first before y'all freak out.
Christ repel you. So here we go. I learned that from The Exorcist. So here we go.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to go to this photo next. It looks like a tree with some wraparound. And we're in the forest here. So this is very interesting. I always ask permission to read a location, and I'm actually not getting permission to read this. So I have a feeling this is either a sacred space, could be a graveyard or somebody's a burial, but feels very sacred, and I'm not welcome to read it. That's interesting. Okay, I will move on. I will honor this and I will move on. Got very heavy as I was reading that.
So there you
go. Wouldn't let you.
Yeah. They won't let you touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Nope, they would not.
Well, that's a first.
And that's
here.
That is a first. Absolutely. So that just goes to show you how potent that space there is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have to have the intention to go in, and that's it. There's no intention to come out. It's like you're either in it or you're out of that space.
Yeah.
So I didn't know any of that before reading it, by the way. I didn't know that was the forest. I had no idea. I don't even know what the writing says on the tree.
That would be a good picture for you. I thought that would be a really good picture for you.
Yeah.
As she's like, don't.
So I did.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And they wouldn't let you read. So that's interesting.
Yep.
Is that?
Yep, absolutely. And I had no clue that this was that forest. None.
Right. Like we can't read that. But is that just a single sign, or are there markings all over?
It's my husband got it off of his Twitter account where they have all kinds of haunted things. My husband loves that. He loves that stuff. He sends me all kinds of pictures.
So there are 3 of you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The group gets bigger. Love that.
So I got. Uh, I'm trying to get some pictures here shown, and okay, there's one with like a courthouse.
Let's see.
Who's that from? Well, it's in English, so that's what it says courthouse on it. Chester.
Yes, that is in Chester County, South Carolina. It is a jail there. This
Cool.
place has a very violent history.
Mm.
It also has a lot of civil. It's also the bottom floor there is also going into the main entrance there. Also has a lot. Is also doubles as a Civil War museum right now. We can also rent it at night for like investigations for the rest of the jail area. But what's interesting is like if let's say all of us went there tonight,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
the inmates there, that the spirits there will absolutely will not do anything to harm any of us women. But however, Anthony, you might be a different story.
Fair game.
We need to go there.
Oh, I'm not going there.
Yeah,
Are you
because
kidding?
even the person
Not even for cannoli. I'm not going there.
Oh, come on.
even the lady who went who did the tour is just like, yeah, they don't hurt women. But men, I would, even if like we went there and we provoked them, they wouldn't do anything. They're just like, for men, you have to be extra careful because they have no problem going after you. And she actually, and she gave an example. There was a demonologist going on his little tour. That was one of his stops. There is a room in the basement where one spirit hangs out at. He's just hiding in that room for whatever reason. And he warned him, he's like, absolutely do not do anything to provoke this dude, or he's not gonna be happy with you. I'm just gonna give you that warning. She was upstairs in the office, just hanging out during, while he's in there. All of a sudden she said he heard him screaming extremely loud. She ran down there and he didn't listen to her. He went in there to provoke the spirit because he's like, I'm a demonologist. I know what I'm doing.
Oh no.
She said when she ran in there, he was off the ground being choked. Because he's like, nope,
My.
not doing this. She's like, I warned you.
He was
They
off
don't
the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
doing
She
this.
did. Oh my gosh.
What?
Like,
She's like, I warned you,
right?
man. Women, they will not. Women can, if women did it, they won't hurt them. I guess they have like that still code of we don't hurt women.
Well, that's a good
You
code.
have to be extra. Men, you have to be extra respectful because if you provoke them, you might be going in the air next being choked.
I don't
So
provoke. So
Well, I mean, I think provoking any spirit is disrespectful. I mean,
Yeah.
exactly.
now he really
It
went in
is.
there and was like, yeah, what was he thinking?
Yeah.
But
Especially in a jail, a violent,
that,
jail.
that
Yeah.
better evidence.
Yeah, I guess.
Ah.
But so
Yeah.
if you're respectful as a man, you should be okay.
You should be okay. Yes.
Okay.
So don't go in there swearing or calling them out or trying to be disrespectful because that's when they're gonna be like, yeah, no,
Yeah,
they're gonna go
children.
after you.
No, thank
right,
you.
that's not me. I never provoke. I show respect. I'm Italian. You show respect, I give respect. You know what I'm saying? So I always, when I go into investigation, I respect as long as I get respected back. It's like I don't believe in provoking. So I don't think I have a problem there. But then again, I don't know. I will not go in the shower area.
Ooh, don't bend over.
That's beneath some people. My kind of humor.
Oh my gosh. We hear Anthony screaming.
Like,
He'll
no,
be
that's not my soap.
he'll be changing from a guy voice to a girly voice.
Like, ow! Yeah, I can't get my voice up that high, but I guess it could be.
Oh dear. Oh dear. No, but I think it's a problem in places like that in particular. I think they feel like, okay, that, they're not as respectful as if, say, you go to a Victorian mansion or something,
Yeah.
because it's a jail. But
Yeah.
I would think you'd have to be even more respectful.
Back then also, because what year was that? Like 1814, something like that?
That jail?
Was on top. Let me bring that back up.
Yeah, it's old.
Yeah, was that 18 or 19?
Let me look.
I feel like it's 18, but
I feel
you're
like
right.
it was
I can't
in the
really
18.
tell on the
I
picture.
feel like when I read about it, it's 1800s, not 1900s.
1814 is a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
And in these jails, if it was 1814 or maybe 1914, the women that went to those jails were usually nuns, and they took care of the men.
Good
And
point.
they bought food, whatever they did. They were nurses or something like that. So maybe that's why they respect the women, especially if they were nuns.
That's a good point.
So if a woman went there, maybe they're not going to bother her because they're religious, whatever reason.
Right.
But a lot of times those jails were
I
nuns.
just had an idea, Anthony. Why don't you wear a costume looking like a nun? Then you can
There you go.
Yeah, I go in there looking like a nun, but I won't shave.
Oh my God,
And
The
the
big
beard would
habit with
be
the thing on with
so
my beard.
confused.
We're
And you
so
got
It would be
far
the
off
most
rails
legs,
right
right?
now. Nuns with beards. We are way off the rails.
But
So
yeah,
Amanda,
so-
you said you had been there before. Have you investigated the jailhouse?
Yes, I went there once. I actually took those pictures there of the outside of before we went in.
that's
I have
interesting.
more videos inside than I did pictures.
What kind of activity did you
Nice.
experience?
So there'd be times where I saw for some odd reason I had more activity. I get more activity when I'm not filming or taking photos. So I'm like, okay, nothing's happening. I'm just gonna take a break and turn off my camera. Then I look over, I'll see like a face all of a sudden pop up and look at me. But there was also one
Oh.
time we're getting ready to go, packing stuff up, and all of a sudden I heard, because I'm in the jail part, I'm gonna go on like the second floor there, so obviously you have like the little hallway or whatever you want to call it in front of the cells. My other partner already walked off to the more of the going into the main building part,
Right.
and all of a sudden I'm hearing running coming towards me.
Oof.
People are like, were you not freaked out? I'm like, for some odd reason, it's one of those moments in paranormal where like my mind is more, what's gonna happen next?
Mhm.
So I'm bracing myself in case this thing wants to push me over or we're gonna see something, and then all of a sudden it just stops and I don't see or hear anything. I'm like, okay, not sure what that was.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's like
Creepy.
you go to these places and something happens. Too many people run away. We're there for the evidence. Why are you running away? You want something. You got to go towards it. I don't understand people. I see shows like that and these
I know it
TikTokers
shows
and
it,
everything else.
I
They
can't-
run. Ah! That's
Yeah.
what
I
we're there
can't
for, to
watch
get
those
the
shows.
evidence.
Yeah.
I hear you. I looked it up. It's 1842.
Ooh.
1842? That's good.
1842.
1814 on top.
I don't know. I don't know.
But that
Well,
Maybe
that's
picture
no,
gives
still
me a
before
headache.
the Civil War. So yeah, that makes sense.
Chester County
Yeah,
Jail,
well,
right?
that's way before the Civil War.
It says the
What a
Greek
good
revival
video.
structure was built in 1842.
Okay,
What
maybe
the-
maybe that letter up there, that number up there, looks like a 1 in front of the 4. Maybe
I don't
that
know.
was a 4 at one time and it broke.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I know it
It
does look
broke.
like that. I don't know.
It just
Yeah.
broke.
It just
In any
broke.
case,
Yay.
it's quite old. It's
What are
quite
you gonna
old.
do? Things happen.
Definitely before the Civil War. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, interesting.
Irene, you sent me something. You have a family sitting at the table. Is that your family?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's
Okay.
2, which I don't know which one to show first. There's a light.
Show both of them at the same time.
I can't show them at the same time. I can show them individually.
Okay.
I'm not that. I can't do that. I don't know how to do
It's
that.
magic.
I don't know how to do that. You're talking to me. You're lucky I know what I'm doing right now.
Oh.
You got one that's like a misty one and one a little brighter.
Show the misty one first.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you think?
What's that? I see two things there
Right. What are like two?
above the heads.
That's at the Vampire Cafe restaurant
Vampire Cafe. That's in where? That's
in Tokyo. It was my birthday, and we went there to have dinner for my birthday.
nice.
And the staff sings you a happy birthday, and they take a picture of your family
Oh,
together.
that's nice.
And they have a unused coffin on the floor in the middle of the room. And yeah,
Excellent.
yeah, it's a really cool place to go and eat. They have excellent food. The non-alcoholic drinks are really delicious. The alcoholic drinks are really delicious. It's just one of those places that, yeah, this is what happened to us.
Can we see the other one just so we can compare it?
Yes.
Oh,
That's a good one too. Look at that one. See, there's a mirror behind my husband's head. It's a black mirror.
There's something behind the middle sun.
right.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? There's no lighting. It's totally pitch black. All you get is those candles that have the show the lights. And yeah,
Hmm.
this is what happened to us, right? My son, he's also intuitive. He's also clairvoyant. My daughter is too. My youngest son, who's sitting in black, he's also clairvoyant and intuitive. My daughter is too. Like the whole family's got the whole thing right. We're all together. Yeah, we're all freaky people, and yeah, this is what happened to us.
We love the freaky.
Yeah,
That's
Well,
Yeah, we
that's
love.
awesome.
so what I hate
Yeah,
to
what a
ask,
beautiful
but
family.
I
Yeah,
know.
that's
There's-
nice.
yeah. But you notice how the lights hit both my son and hits my
Yeah.
arm. Like it's like two streams going down. Like because he's the strongest. My son is the next one, and there's me, right? And it doesn't hit my daughter because she doesn't want to have anything to do with it, right? But yeah, it's all three. It's like all three of us are getting it.
So the sun with the glasses on is the one that's most sensitive.
Yeah, he's the one I
Yeah.
go to if I need help.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. I so in the other picture, I see something behind him in the other picture also.
Yeah, I
You'll
see
see a
something in this
little.
picture too. Do you see on
Yeah.
his shoulder by the bottle? I don't
Mhm.
know. That's I see more like a hand or something, like grabbing him. It's like grabbing his arm.
Oh, I think that's his shoulder. I think that's the shoulder. I know what you're seeing there. I think that's the shoulder of his coat. I think it's like
Yeah.
light
Yeah.
bluish. Yeah.
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 My
Okay.
kids didn't want to go there to have dinner because it freaked them out. My oldest son says he didn't want to go inside because I think he felt something, and he doesn't tell you what it is or where it is or anything. He'll just keep it to himself. He's that kind of person, right?
Hmm.
So he didn't want to go there at all. He was hesitant to even step inside the restaurant.
That's interesting. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, the
There's a
lights
little
and stuff.
something there behind its head on this one. A little
Yeah.
Mhm.
a light that's not in the
Yeah,
other
it's down
photo.
the other one.
Yeah.
It's not in the other one, whereas that light is the same on your youngest son. So that like little circle light by his eye is the same in both
Mm-hmm.
photos, almost.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
part above the middle son is completely different. Wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
I
above
thought
him.
Okay.
that's really good. It's a really fun place to go and eat dinner, because what they do is they do the sign of the cross when they put salad dressing on it, or when they have these spaghetti, they put the sign of the cross
It-
when they put the sauce on the spaghetti.
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
So
And
I
it's a
my
find
vampire
birthday cake,
place. What they have? Bloody
Yeah.
Marys.
I know.
oh,
I'm glad you
they
said
have
that
Okay.
they were the
wine,
drinks.
blood red wine.
I was
The,
gonna say,
It's called
what are you
vampire
drinking?
wine.
that's funny. You know,
And
they believe in vampires, but they don't believe in ghosts.
I know. I was just gonna say that's fine, a vampire cafe, but
Yeah, but that's a
can't talk about the
legend.
paranormal.
Vampires are
Yeah.
a legend.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
So
they're
anything
real.
that's like a legend or story is real.
They have red candles that looks like blood. The
That's fun.
hosts and the hostess all dressed in black. They've
Wow.
got black makeup on,
Yeah.
and some have
The
red,
blood.
you know, coming out of here, so they paint their
Yeah,
face
they like
red.
the, like the blood
But
or
it's the
whatever.
most funnest place.
That's fun.
I mean, God, you know, if you ever come, I'll take you there. It's a little bit expensive, but it's a lot of fun. It's a
Was
lot
that in
of fun.
Tokyo?
Yeah, that's
That's
not too far away
I
from
like
where I
it.
live too.
Sushi place?
Huh?
Is it a sushi place? I
No,
wanted the sushi.
no,
like,
they have it's an Italian restaurant.
No, they do spaghetti.
Italian.
Did you not hear the spaghetti? There's
I,
spaghetti
well,
there,
Yeah,
Anthony.
I don't know. There might
You'll eat the spaghetti.
in Japan. They might have some sauce on their
She said
fish. I don't
salad
know.
dressing
I'm not there.
and spaghetti.
they make the
Spaghetti
best
and
roast chicken
sushi. What's
too.
wrong?
It's a 5-course meal, including
Really?
dessert.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Delicious.
yeah, they have
Yeah,
a
that
salad.
dessert looks good.
They have a black ink squid ink spaghetti. They have a salad. They have a Caesar salad. They
Ooh.
have they
Nice.
have all different things, and they have a dessert where they have uh homemade ice cream, and it looks like a beetle.
Oh,
Oh, really?
So
That's
yeah,
very cool.
good
it's
stuff.
a really nice place to eat. The atmosphere, if you like it, like me, like I love creepy stuff like that. Yeah,
So,
we
Yeah.
went there.
You're getting me hungry.
You,
I'm gonna have to go to Tokyo just to check this place out.
but
Well, we
you
have
have
to talk about
you have
food.
you have to 3 months reservation. You have to book your reservation 3 months ahead.
Hey, I
time.
know a guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not if you're
it's a
Anthony.
nice place to go and have dinner and feel the ambiance and see everybody. But you have to watch where you're walking because there's no lights, and I
Yeah.
love the
Right.
casket in the middle of the stupid dumb floor. Oh, it's so cool! I thought, man, that's a lot of fun. Yeah.
I have another picture here of it looks like a shadow person or something. Who's that?
Oh, that's mine. That's my investigation. That's what my friend took.
Okay, you want me to show it?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it on the pictures then. The
Okay.
last.
Oh my goodness.
That's in Texas, right? My friend's in the hospital now because he's sick because of that one. That thing.
Really?
Yeah.
What did
He
you
has
say
a
this
blood
was?
clot in his leg because we did that investigation. I got sick, but I got better.
This
My
feels
my
like
friend who's also Native American, she got sick. She got better. We got better. He's still sick.
Wow.
What?
You know what it
this
is?
gives
I'll
me
tell
like
you
a
what it
little
is.
ET vibes to it. Is
No,
anybody
it's a
getting like ET
skinwalker.
vibes?
Yes.
It's a skinwalker. It's a female.
Oh.
It could be could be a skinwalker.
It is
Where'd
a
you- This
skinwalker.
is Texas, you said.
She was really pissed that I kicked her out of the house.
Yeah.
To me, it looks like some type
Yeah.
of skinwalker. Right.
Stands
Like,
up with the long neck and a head and stuff. Yeah.
and like
She
arms
got
behind it
pissed.
almost.
Like really pissed. He took that picture before I kicked her out, and she got really mad. She came after all of us. Yeah, that's you see, that's the third time we went once. Okay, I cleansed it. It was okay. Then they started. The second time we went, the people who were living there were playing with the stupid Ouija board. Would you believe it? So yeah, so we went back again. We found the Ouija board. We got mad. I said, I ain't not going back there again. So yeah.
Yeah, and you can see in the background that you can see, that regular shadows that are lighter.
Yeah.
But this is so, we always talk about it blacker than black, darker than dark.
It's just really bad. It's a really bad place. And because they were playing with the Ouija board, I said, I'm not going back. I wash my hands. I'm done.
Yeah,
Because
and
of
there's
that.
just nothing that
Ouija
shape.
board,
I
yeah.
mean, that's definitely
And it's on Native American land. Would you believe it?
I would actually.
It's on the reservation.
So that's why I'm kind of peeved off. That's why I wanted to tell you, don't play with Ouija boards and don't make the spirits bad, because they can come after you and they'll hurt you real bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, using the Ouija boards is intention. So if you use a Ouija board, you're opening up communication, and if you don't have direct intention, then you could potentially be open to anything that's in the area.
Yeah,
But
and you know what?
you have to have intention, clear, concise.
And they had pieces of paper up all over the house saying yes or no. I said, what the heck are you doing? Like, I got really upset. I didn't get mad. You don't want to know me. You don't want to know me when I get mad.
Right.
Okay, I get mad. I really get mad. But yeah, I was really upset. I said, what the heck is this all about? I asked them, well,
some
we
people
just
think
wanted to
it's just a
communicate. They
game.
said,
Yeah.
communicate. Yeah. I mean, I respect the spirits. I respect their space, but don't do something stupid. Yeah. My friend is the lead investigator who is now in the hospital, really sick, and because they came after him, and it's his investigation, and well, I hope he gets better. That's all I can do.
Well, I wouldn't want to see that
Amanda,
in my room.
We had a question. Did you ever investigate in Michigan?
Mostly at the time, cemeteries, because I grew up in Michigan, and I grew up as a Baptist minister's daughter, and I was also sensitive at the. I mean, I still am sensitive, but it was when I first was, learning about my abilities. That mostly at that time, I could sense where a spirit was, male, female, and I could also hear them and communicate with them. However, being a Baptist minister's daughter, they were afraid of that. So I couldn't really be into the paranormal. Maybe with friends, snuck into some cemeteries at night, mostly. But it was because to them, I tell this story too, where they were so afraid of me having a gift that they would try to spiritually cleanse me. They tried to perform an exorcism on me, thinking, oh, you're obviously sensing and hearing demons. That's the only thing it could be. So, and they were just like, well, since you're able to do this, you're either doing witchcraft, or you did something to get a demon attachment, or you're actually possessed by a demon. And I'm like, no, I've always done this. And being in a circle, having holy water thrown at you, I was more scared of what is going to happen once they realize nothing is coming out of me.
Yeah, what will they do next? Yeah.
I mean, how about that? The spirits are
that was
scared
my biggest
of you.
fear. Is this going to get worse once they realize nothing's coming out of me? Thinking, oh, it's just that stubborn.
Right.
It's not coming out. And I'm like, oh god, how bad does this get?
Boy.
Right. And I mean, that's actually really interesting that you say that, because in the witch trials, they would confess all the time because they didn't know how bad they didn't know what the next consequence was, and they would just be like, fine, whatever you want to hear, and then they get condemned. So wow, I'm sorry you experienced that. Because I'm sure that put it was tough to then trust that or reshare that again. Yeah.
Well, at that time, also during the witch trials, they could use some extreme measures to get what they want out of you. So it's either, do I endure this pain now and go through it and keep saying I'm not, or do I just go with it and say yeah?
Right.
I mean, look at that one guy who was crushed to death.
Yeah.
Because he kept saying no, I'm not.
Yeah, they put stones on him and to confess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he kept saying no, and they're like, we can end this right now if you just go ahead and admit it. And he's like, no, I'm not going to.
Right.
So they did worse things.
Wow.
They did worse things to women who are called witches. They did a really bad thing to women here.
So
all in the name of fear.
how's your family feel now They do they talk to you? They you know,
They're
do you have
still.
any?
I mean, they still think obviously everything is a demon. So
Oh
one
no.
of those things you just don't ever bring up because they're. I don't think they're ever going to get past that everything is a demon. So,
Okay.
and I'm
Okay.
also not gonna. I'm not gonna. It's not. It's not something I'm gonna fight. It's one of those. If you think just everything's a demon, and if anyone who is talking to anything but is being deceived and it's actually a demon, and I'm like. From experience now, especially getting more into the paranormal, you realize not everything's a demon, not everything's gonna hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
because
Absolutely.
I mean, I know I have a religious family that constantly praying for my soul because I think I'm going to find it. I'm looking for the demons and the devil, and one day he's going to take me over, and I'm like, I'll take all the prayers you want to give me.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I don't talk to him about it. I just don't talk to him about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's
the way it
tricky.
is.
Especially it's your father. I mean, it's not a distant
Mhm.
relative, it's your father.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, you get to that point where I was more worried of what's gonna happen once they realize nothing's coming out of me because I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Especially then, because obviously being that kind of Christian household, when there's like, oh, you must be doing witchcraft, and at the time, the closest thing I knew about witchcraft then was the Hocus Pocus movies. And I think the only reason why I was allowed to watch those was because it was Disney. So they're like, "Oh, we trust Disney." I mean, looking back at it now, you shouldn't be trusting Disney. No,
Yeah,
Disney
No.
movies.
I know. That's hilarious.
That is.
Oh,
Yeah, Disney can get dark.
great
Yeah,
Mhm.
Disney
movie,
does.
though.
A lot of
Great
people don't
movie.
realize how dark Disney can actually get.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, and it's still like you just don't bring it up anymore. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
you just let it go, like it never
Yeah.
happened. How old
Yeah.
were you when you first felt you were seeing things?
They
Oh,
told me I was doing that when I was younger because I was a little girl and I'd be talking to people who were not there. They just assumed then because I was a child. Oh, you're seeing and talking to angels, and it's weird how when you grow up and it's innocent, they're like, oh, it must be angels that you're actually communicating with. How cute is that? And then you get a little bit older, and they're like, okay, what
Right.
witchcraft are you doing? I'm like, why is this? Why did this change?
I
mhm,
see. It's not so
Oh,
cute when you're 12, in other words.
Yeah, and as you
mhm,
Yeah.
get older,
Okay.
especially in a teen, they're like, all right, you're obviously doing stuff you're not supposed to. I was
mhm.
like, I,
Right.
I haven't.
You just grew into it.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and I grew up during the 60s and 70s where we weren't allowed to talk about, but I had parents that said, "Don't say nothing about it." You had it a little rougher than I did. You had a lot rougher than I did coming up. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why for
Wow.
the longest time I was more afraid to use any gifts, and I just kind of bottled it up because I'm like,
sure.
yeah, I don't want to go
mhm.
through this again. Or even Irene tells me to this day she can still see that fear when I do anything.
You got a wall and
Yeah,
it's
well,
really
it's
hard to
just when you grow up,
take down the
especially when you get
wall.
water thrown on you, and you're just like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
That's yeah. Well,
That's
now you are
crazy.
doing what you feel is right. You know what you right for you. You know, you
Yeah,
can't make your parents happy on everything. So you feel what you're doing is right for you. You shown you can't put your abilities inside you and hide them ever because
that's
it wants to come out
yeah,
always.
yeah. That's what I'm about to say is if you have a gift, even if you try and put it down and not use it, or just make it so you can't use it,
Hmm.
I think the spirits know you have that gift. They're like, no, you're gonna use it. You're gonna know we're here. You're gonna hear us. So it's one of those
Hmm.
things where you can't avoid it forever.
Hmm.
Sure.
Yeah. So you might as well use it, and because if you don't use it, that's when people go a little nuts in the head because
Yeah,
you always have that should I, shouldn't I, and it's like pressure, too much pressure on your chest. But once you start using, you're going to feel all that pressure come out and let yourself go. So
Right.
I'm
Like
glad that
denying a
you
part of
actually
yourself.
are using it. I know you still got that little part, in you, like what happened, but you're going the right way with it, and you're actually facing what you feel is right for
Yeah,
you.
I'm
Yeah.
starting to learn to use it more and more.
Hmm.
I'm
So,
starting to use it more and more. Japan is a hit and miss of being able to use it just because, I mean, I can sense them, but a lot of them here are just one of those, they'd rather not talk to you. And I'm like,
mhm,
I'm not gonna, you don't want to talk to me, I'm not gonna push it. Because people are like, well, why don't you try? And I'm like, no. If they
Mm-mm.
don't, if they look at me and say, I don't feel like talking to anyone, I'm not gonna push it because I'm just like, I'm not gonna get angry because I can't fight it if it gets angry. If it says,
mhm.
I don't want you talking to me, I want to be left alone. I'm like, yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
You
Respect
do
it.
you. I will leave you alone.
Right.
Yeah. I'll
Right.
say in my own experience, the environmental, like if you're starting to practice or try it out, the greater world around is a little more not difficult, but there's definitely not so good things out there, good things out there. If you are trying to start to develop not only your skills, Amanda, but anybody who's watching,
Yeah.
is to do it in a safe environment where that would be like taking a class where it's like a mutual like, exchange where you're open, that person's open, and you just kind of practice and go through it that way. And I will
But
say
there's no
it's
classes
helped.
in Japan.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it in Japan. There's classes online all over the world.
Oh,
Right.
okay, you're right. I'm wrong. I'm
Online.
old, so I don't
Yeah,
think about it
yeah,
online. I think about going
Right.
physically to a school.
You
I'm
can
yeah.
find a
old.
And you can, I
mentor,
mean,
maybe.
I'm a
mediumship works
boomer
the
still, you
same.
know?
There's psychic and mediumship classes online. It works the same whether you're in front of somebody or you're still connecting with somebody's energy across a screen. And it's a great way to start to begin to understand what's
Hmm.
happening. And then once you begin to understand, then it's just like, oh yeah, old hat, like, okay, yeah, yeah. And then you can more have the choice of like, okay, do I want to open myself up to this place to read it or this place? But locations can be dicey for sure, opening up and beginning at locations, haunted locations, stuff like that, because there are things there that you may not need to talk to. So yeah.
So, we do got more of Kim's readings, and
Yeah.
I don't want to run out of
Well,
time,
there's
or
one
we're already
photo
at
you did.
everything.
There's photos you didn't show, Anthony. So there's the one in the
Yeah.
forest.
That's the forest one. Yeah, this one here.
I think you did it a little earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay,
So this one I did
That
read too.
that one is a good place.
that's a good
Um,
Yeah.
place.
yeah, because that's next to my Shinto shrine that I go to. That's part of my family heritage. They built it, and that's right next to the shrine.
Okay.
It's in the mountains. Um, it's one part of is the Pacific Ocean. The other part is the mountain areas, and that's the mountain areas. 700 samurai soldiers to save face have unalived themselves in a cave. It's one of the places that I really want to go inside the cave. I really want to do that. It's one of the places where I want to visit, and I want to go there, and I want to see how I feel in there. I'm not afraid, but yeah, it's one of those places that really interests me, and I have to go back in there. I go to the shrine all the time because this is what it is. It's Kamakura Hachiman Jingu. It's 800 years. It's called. It's a Buddhist temple, not Buddha. It's a Shinto
Mm.
shrine. So when you die, you're Buddha. When you're living, you belong to Shinto, and it's one of the most only upper class people belong to the shrine. Um, my family heritage is pretty old, and so yeah, and it's one of the beautiful shrines ever. It was built probably because what Amanda said is to appease the dead spirits because that place is totally haunted in that area. That whole area is just like full of dead spirits. There's a place not too far away from there. I didn't show the picture of it, but they unearthed in the sand several samurai warriors who died in battle, and their skeletons are all over the beach
Wow.
in
Oh,
that area. Yeah, it's extremely haunted. Like, yeah, and it's one of the places that you go swimming in the ocean in that area too. I've been there too.
oh,
I've done that. I've been swimming there. It doesn't bother me. They don't bother me. Yeah, it's a really interesting. It's a different atmosphere when you go there. You don't feel like the air is heavy, but when you go to
right.
that area, you feel kind of like in your chest, and it's kind of like in your stomach because they did cut their gut open, and they did slice themselves up inside, and they did point the knife up. And yeah, so yeah, it's one of those you gotta go, you gotta see it yourself.
Right.
I'm not afraid to go there,
It's a
because I
cave,
know
you
my
said?
yeah,
A cave,
it's
Irene? A
hmm?
cave.
Um,
There's a
It's a
cave?
cave. Yeah, it's a cave.
Okay.
It's a really interesting place to go there, and it's I'm more intrigued to go there because probably because my ancestors are probably part of that area. And yeah, I don't know who died, but yeah, I just want to go.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the most, chilling
Mm.
places look so beautiful on the outside, right? Like, I mean,
Hmm.
the beach, the cave, the forest, right? Like it's so peaceful, but has such a chilling history.
Oh yeah, I mean
um,
Wow.
that whole area is haunted. I tell you that much because they
Kim,
have
which
so
one
many
is
Buddhist
that?
statues in that area too.
Oh
Because of
yeah, I
that.
want to hear Kim's reading.
Kim, what's your reading on? Which one is this? Is it Forest Man or Forest
Do
Spirit?
forest spirits, yeah. And
Okay,
then
here we
and
go.
then so I did this one in two different readings just to make the videos shorter. So it starts
Okay,
with forest spirits and then forest man and lady,
okay.
fair
Then we're going
lady.
to the second one after that. Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right, now we have another photo here of a forested area. Oh, I'm getting a really crazy feeling with this too. So let me put it to you this way. Land is very sacred here in this country. Land is very sacred. Trees are very sacred here. Rocks, anything unusual could become a temple or a sacred spot. What happens when places are treated sacrally, like within reverence, is that the spirit of place and the memory of place and the spirits associated with the land, so whether it's a tree, a rock, a valley, are all very present. So when I'm here reading this photo, it's amazing because I'm feeling like there are what we would call like energy sprites, energy sprites associated with the trees, energy sprites associated with water that's near this. They're all just like kind of swirling around and they're all like surrounding the trees or coming up, like, but they're all in working order, meaning that the spirits of the land and the spirits of the place are there to help support the land, and the land is like responding to them. So along with this, the spirits of the land are allowed to kind of wander, meaning they can wander through the forest. It would not be recommended to walk through this area by yourself. You would want to go with, they're saying like a guardian or a friend or an animal, like an animal guardian as well. Whether this animal guardian would be like a dog or a horse, but you would need to go in with a guardian presence. And the guardian presence is to let the land spirits know that you are respected. And how they're saying this too is that if you arrive without a guardian, whether that's a spirit guardian or a physical guardian, you're kind of like free game. Free game for them. They would have a clue that you are not a righteous individual and you may be messed with or played with. And this doesn't go just for this forest, this goes for many places in Japan.
Yep, she's right.
Oh, really?
She's right.
So who do you
Yeah,
who
I
do you
love
bring
that,
with
Irene,
you?
that you're. Oh, good question.
Who do you? So you were saying she's
Are you
right.
asking
Who do
me?
you? No, Irene was saying Kim's right. Irene, who do you bring us like any kind of spirit guide with you for protection?
I do.
Okay.
I call
So
my
she
ancestors. I call my ancestors from the. First, I cleanse myself to the shrine, and then I go there,
okay.
and
So you
probably go
follow
back to
Kim's
the shrine
advice.
again and cleanse myself again, and then I go home.
Yeah.
And if you guys ever come to Japan, you guys have to be cleansed before you go anywhere haunted in Japan, because you have to have a clean spirit before you go anywhere. And yeah, it's like cleansing means like um having a Shinto priest uh uh
Hmm.
pray for your soul, and then after you drink sake, Japanese sake, purified sake, and then you can go. It's a different feeling. You get rid of all the
Yeah,
bad juju
love
in
that.
your body or on your body around you, and especially been to certain places in United States. There's you can only go to church to get cleansed, right? But here, I get cleansed every 6 months because I do what I do, and yeah, and I have sessions with dead people in my house, and that's why I have to go every 6 months.
Right.
It's just a thing that I have to do, and I work with the dead, and I work with the living, and I work with both, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
So
it's
call it
like
yeah,
spiritual hygiene.
yes,
yeah,
like
yeah,
Yep,
spiritual dry
spiritual
cleaners.
hygiene.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yeah,
No, I love that idea. Like
yeah.
I'm
But
really
Irene,
thinking about this.
I love that you brought up that there's the Shinto, because I was feeling that kind of like temple kind of feeling in that area too. So yeah,
Yeah.
really cool. Beautiful.
My t-shirt, I wear this t-shirt when I do talking about certain things, and
What does it
oops,
say?
there, you see,
Yeah, yeah.
I can see it.
yeah. So
Very
Mm.
yeah,
nice.
it's just when I talked about certain spirits or certain things, I have to be very careful how much I talk about it, because I'll get kicked off the podcast and they won't like me talking about it. So I get kicked out. Amanda knows. I get kicked out all the time when I talk about videos
Is
and
that
certain
right?
things about
Amanda's
this
shaking
country,
her head. Like go through
and
the machine.
it kicks me out. And so
Um,
I have to be very careful how much you talk about it, right? Because I will get kicked out.
that's crazy.
And
Yeah.
this is spirit kicking you out, or like Facebook kicking you out?
No, the spirits are kicking me out. You can tell
Spirit.
Amanda.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I'll
spirits.
Okay.
tell you.
Okay.
When I was
Yeah.
on your
That's
podcast, I kicked
nuts.
you out a couple of times.
Oh,
Really?
Hmm.
Like, nope, you're cut off. Cut off.
No.
yeah.
Okay,
And I had
there's a
to.
second part of that reading, which I want to get
Oh
on
yes,
because
please.
All
we're
right. All
heading
right.
towards the
Yeah.
end of the night.
Yeah.
Yep, please.
Yep. Yep.
Not like
Yep.
you guys, you can stay on all night. We have to, we have a
Yeah,
schedule.
we have a time limit.
Sorry, guys. I was on their show for 3.5 hours.
I watched the whole thing.
Whoa.
It was fun. Okay, here we go.
So I do see a man here. I do believe this is hundreds of years ago. He's showing me himself in a working, simple farmer's outfit with, I do feel like there is the sun hat, and he has like a pick in his hand, like a farming pick, and he's like hunchbacked. I do feel like he's middle-aged to older, not ancient. He must have lived here at some point, but I just feel like he's currently in this state right now, is just wandering around. I do feel like there's also a fair lady who is associated with this area. This fair lady is wearing light silks, long arm garments. She is more ethereal. She's saying she might be associated with a legend. So a legend of this area or a legend of this woods that she's associated with, but she's calling herself the Fair Lady. So I do believe there was some sort of conflict in this area. So they're showing me this might be a little on a hill. I don't feel like this is it's like a hill. So there's a hill here. And I wonder if there was some sort of conflict either in the valley down below or on the hill, because I am seeing conflict here, battle conflict. Gosh, this is, again, hundreds of years ago. Hundreds of years ago. But it's a part of a forested area. It's like a preserve, a forested preserve. I do believe they're saying an H name with it. Beautiful. So that completes the reading for those 3 different pictures. And I can't wait to see what the history or the evidence is for these places.
So you got that.
I got that.
Wow.
She's right. They did have a samurai battle. They did have a samurai fighting. They did have warriors being killed all over the place. There are places in the mountains where don't go there alone. Don't go there at all unless you know what you're doing, because they are haunted, and they will take you if you're not smart, right?
Oh man.
Yeah, they'll mess with
Mhm.
you for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're fair game if
Um,
you don't come in a certain way. Fair game.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Wow.
And Anthony, you want
What
to
was
go
the
with
place
me? I think
called?
it
What was
is one place is
Yeah.
really cool.
They
We'll
see
go.
they see my American bud that tossed me off the cliff. I guess I'll be gutted right there. You kidding me?
I'd like to see him
Oh, come
toss
on.
you.
I'll protect you. Don't worry.
Oh my god.
They go goodbye. I'm like, why? That happened
Sayonara.
before I was
See ya.
born. Come on.
Oh
So,
god. I can just hear him now. Forget about
what do you do?
it.
For fuck's sake.
Forget about
Okay.
it.
I'll sing you
Um.
compacted down
It'll
the
be
hill.
like what was that Bugs Bunny cartoon, Wile E. Coyote, like off the cliff and like straight
Yeah,
And
down?
then
go
Yeah,
down.
that'd be me.
like this.
Forget
Aw.
about
So,
yes. Bye.
we do have one more reading, and
Oh
this is of the harbor,
That's
Amanda's
okay.
harbor over there.
no.
No, Anthony, that's all right. We don't have to do that one. We can stop there. That's good.
Unless Amanda doesn't want to hear it.
No, I'd be curious what she picks up because I know there's a bunch of spirits out there, so I'm not sure
Oh,
which one
okay.
spoke
I mean,
with
we
to
can if
her.
you want, but I
Okay.
know
That's
we're
so
running out of
cool.
time. So,
I
No,
mean,
you're good.
you got a bit. I mean, just get this
okay,
on.
excited to do another location read today for our podcast and for our guests. And also for those who are watching, I would love for you to read into the photos as well and let me know what you feel. So I'll start with this. This is a photo. It looks like of a port center. And as I feel into this port center, as I feel into this area, yeah, okay. So this has been a port center for, gosh, hundreds of years, could be even thousands of years. And what they're saying to me is that this was built up very quickly, meaning they're saying like it was very sleepy fisherman's town for a really long time. And then all of a sudden it was like hundreds of people were coming and it became like an international port very quickly. If I could place this location, I'm feeling like it's on the lower end of the island of Japan, and I actually want to put it towards the western part, inside of the sea. There's quite a bit of strong history with this land. They're showing me, okay, everybody is wearing black. This would be like black long wear, simple long wear, tied at the waist. I think this would be feeling like 16 or 1700s. And they're saying like it was the longest walk of the year. They're walking across borders or walking across prefectures or something like that, walking across like the area, whether they were pushed out of here and they had to walk or they walked and they arrived, showing these people, emaciated, thin, walking migrant, not very ornamented. I don't feel like these are like colorful kimonos. They feel like very farmer, very simple, but darker, not white or light colored. And there's this like head lowering to them as well, walking into the area. Yeah, they feel like simple farmers that for some reason were displaced and then they came here. Maybe the origins of this port, but again, it goes back even further than that. Foreigners coming in, pushing out of this area, then they leave, and then the natives come back in. Foreigners come in, push them out of this area. Maybe they take over the port, they take over the area, and they're pushing them out. So there's this like constant displacement happening in this area and on this land, and and like the feeling of this land, of the area, is just like, it's just like so exhausted of people coming and going and pushing out and battling over it. Yeah, it's like the long walk of the soul is what they're saying. Again, I want to go back 1600s, maybe 1700s, but it feels more like 15 or 1600. Another photo of the port. Same. So here they're showing me, I feel like water rushing in and water rushing out. So this may also have a history of a tsunami here. But it feels like one of the main scars on the land was whatever exchange took place here in the 1600s. I don't know if they have the history of that. It was a transfer of country power, it feels like.
Whoa. That was a
Kimmy,
lot of
can I ask-
information.
Kimmy, can I ask you a
Sorry,
question?
yeah.
Why?
Can I
Don't
ask you a question? Can you focus in on Amanda, okay? Focus in her place. Focus in on her balcony. Tell me what you see and tell me what you hear, because I can hear it.
I hear whistling
Mm,
or yelling.
okay. Amanda told me there's a lady who was murdered. Her body was thrown in the ocean
Oh.
because a long time
Oh,
ago,
gosh.
instead of getting a divorce, you'd kill your spouse.
Oh my gosh.
No, I had
Yeah.
a caller one night. It's not my balcony, but it was outside in the harbor somewhere where she was a native. He was military, and she got pregnant. He wasn't happy because it probably. I think the feeling for me that I'm getting is she was more involved. She was more into him than he was into her, and I don't think she realized it at the time. It's one of those. To her, it was something long term. To him, it's just something.
A
Well, while
fling.
kind of thing, you know what I mean? So she
Right.
Yeah.
got pregnant. He wasn't happy.
But I
And
can
I had
hear
to
her
call Irene
screaming.
because there was one night where I'm like, you know what? I'm not seeing many spirits out. Seems like a peaceful night. I'm gonna try and go for a walk. Then I've heard her scream in the harbor. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I guess I'm not in the mood to walk anymore. I'm just gonna go back inside.
Because I can hear her scream.
Oh.
I've heard her
Yeah.
scream. I'm like, I'm just gonna go back inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
hear
I
the
mean-
yelling. Yeah.
She is screaming because
Poor
he killed
thing.
her. And yeah.
Poor thing.
But,
Yeah.
this is Japan, right?
No.
Haunted island. I live in the worst haunted areas in Tokyo. It's pretty bad. You don't have to go far to see anything haunted like Amanda does. She doesn't have to go far to see anything haunted. You don't need to buy tickets because the rent's outside your front door,
Yeah.
right?
You can investigate right out your window.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
I
so
where
believe
lucky.
it.
she is, um, it's on a hill. They 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 crucified Christians on a hill where she is. It's in Nagasaki. I've been there. It's kind of eerie. It's dark, but they crucified 24 Catholic Christians and the priests. They crucified the priests. They nailed them to the cross alive and they killed them. So
Mm.
that's where she lives, and yeah,
Right.
that area is really interesting. And my husband was born on that
Yeah.
island, so he knows all about it, right? So yeah.
I think it's
Wow.
great that your husband is, supportive of you.
I guess that's a no.
No, he is. I mean, in terms of, he doesn't say, "Oh, there's nothing out there," or, you're
No,
seeing
he
things.
says, "Oh, you want to go there?" I go, "You coming?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm coming." You go, "Okay, we'll go."
That's good. That's supportive.
But he gets kicked in the butt every time he goes someplace haunted because they don't want him there. So,
I
so
think
he
my
gets
husband needs a kick in the butt sometimes.
they attack him instead of attacking me.
Interesting.
We're coming to the end of the show. We
Yeah.
got a couple minutes left.
I'm sad.
And I want to thank you guys for being on the show.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
thank you for
was
having us.
what an
We had fun.
opportunity. This is
I
amazing.
know I was saying in the chat, this is
Yeah.
our first Seekers Chronicles International.
Yeah, and Howard
Yes.
International.
With more international to come, because that would be
Yeah,
awesome.
hopefully.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean,
That's
all
true.
the show. I mean, there's none of these. We heard a lot of these stories on our TV shows here when the they go in with crews, or even movies. You know,
Mhm.
they have the movies that we watch, and of course, movies fabricate a lot of stuff. But when we have people on the show that actually were at these locations that showed and even told us about secrets that at locations that's not even taught in the schools.
Right.
That's interesting, you know.
So
And
how can we find Spooky Japan? I just don't want
If you
to
go
not
on
get to that.
Facebook, if you go on Facebook, you just search up Spooky Japan podcast. We're more
Okay.
active there. We not only post we not only post like cryptids here, urban legends here, but we also post life here, of the culture here, because we post pictures of like couple places in Japan, just for you to be able to see it too.
Very
Mhm.
nice.
so you have a YouTube channel also?
YouTube, yes.
Okay.
Okay, and it's Spooky Japan also
Spooky Japan podcast, yes.
podcast. So
And
good.
How
Good.
often do you do your podcast?
We try and do it at least once a week. Sometimes it'll be more because here in Japan we don't have a set time or day that we do it.
Right.
Just because of the fact is being here in Japan, we know we're in different time zones than like everyone else, and we
Right.
tried doing that Pacific day and time, but we're like it was hard to get people to come on. So we're like,
Mhm.
you know what, we're flexible. So whatever they're good,
Sure.
Nice.
we're good. We'll go.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
That's good.
Well,
So-
we're really grateful to have you. I did watch the entire show when Anthony was on for 4 hours. It was actually 4 hours.
4
Yeah.
hours.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, I was in the audience.
I was on like 2 shows in one night.
And I was like, I'm exhausted, and I wasn't
In
even on it.
demand.
It was
Yeah,
such a
it
good
was
show.
a great show.
So check
know-
them out.
Great show.
Check
We
them
gotta
out.
have you guys
when
back.
when you do a show, okay, you can't say 1 hour. Okay, bye, see you. And like
Yeah.
we're in the middle of something. Like, how can you do that, right?
Mhm.
Like you're talking, you're into it. You're talking about certain things that are very important, and
Yeah.
you can't say bye bye. Like,
Cool.
no, it doesn't work that. We don't work like that, right?
Mhm.
And Amanda knows that
Yeah,
we
we're
can't
more
just
organic.
we just
Yeah.
can't do that, and
Right.
we want to continue. So that's why we have this. Sometimes 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, we'll do it.
He was
We
on
don't
there for 4
we don't
hours.
mean to go that long.
Yeah, but
No.
Anthony can
happens.
talk.
Yeah,
He's
no,
a
you
talker.
hear the
happens,
conversation, you just talk.
It
Yeah.
just happens, okay?
Yeah,
And
and when it's a topic you're passionate about, then
Of
the
course.
time just flies. It doesn't even.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
could talk
I
about
could
the
talk about it for
ghosties
4
all day.
hours.
But we
Yes.
Yeah.
don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, we
I'm
don't.
sorry. We're on a network. I wish we could keep you on all night.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
But they're gonna shut
Yeah,
us
thank you,
down.
ladies,
And
for joining us tonight. That was
Thank you
Thank
so much for
Thank
having
you.
me.
you.
Yeah.
Do I have time
appreciate
for
love
it.
and light to everybody.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
so grateful.
yes, you
Thank
too, Irene. Thank
That's
you.
all right.
Do I have time for a quick?
thank you for
like,
coming on.
30
Stay on a little
seconds?
bit longer, but
Yeah, you have 30
I just
seconds.
wanted to
Okay.
I want to tell
30
everybody in the audience, thank you for coming.
No.
We had a great time. The people in the audience were very interesting about us. You know, everything went on tonight.
Okay.
So, go
Don't
ahead.
forget to subscribe to ERRT Radio. Please, we are so close to helping Ronald achieve his goal of 1,000 subscribers. So if you're not
Yeah.
a subscriber to ERRT Radio, please do so.
Mhm.
And we also ask that you check out a new podcast on Sunday nights, Beyond the Veil Supernatural, featuring Richard Moschella, our dear friend, and Lisa Morrison, who's an incredibly gifted medium.
Excellent.
well.
It's going to be an excellent show. You know?
Facebook,
Yeah.
Sunday nights, 8:00.
Yeah. And
That's
everybody
my
out there,
announcements.
I just want to thank everybody for showing and coming in, asking questions. Awesome night. And of course, we got to tell everybody to be safe out there because you want to look for ghosts. You don't want to be a ghost.
Not
You know, we
yet.
got to say, forget about it. Ciao, familiar.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?